Hey guys, hope everybody's doing good today and enjoying your day. In this video, we're going to be visiting 12 interesting places, and we're going to be starting at the top right of our map and working our way towards the top left side. And we'll be explaining uh, a little bit about the places as we view them, or my thoughts on them anyway. And just kind of hang out and check out some cool stuff together. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video and enjoy hanging out with me. So let's jump right in. First up on the list is the
Zero.
abandoned trading post in Roanoke Ridge. It's a very big difference between how John draws and how Arthur draws, and what he says versus what Arthur says in the journal. And I think that's a cool aspect that they added. John's is more plain and simple to me. It would have been neat if they would have uh, allowed John's drawing to get better the more drawings he did. And if I'm not mistaken, it's either $10 or $20. I have all that stuff turned off on the screen. There's also a cigarette card and some gin. And you can spend the night here. So that does come in handy for when you're doing the Marco Dragic missions. So you can just sleep in advance time, and then that way you can make it happen quicker. It took me a second to figure out what the heck this said above the door, and it says, please close door. Or shut, I'm sorry, please shut door. I love the game music. It's so soothing. It makes adventuring so much more fun and enjoyable. Although sometimes it makes me sleepy if it's too relaxing. Yeah, I had to use the binoculars to actually be able to read it. So it's pretty cool too. There's a path here that leads to the next location that we're going to, which is the Meteor House. So before the trading post was closed down, whoever
Easy
lived
now.
there had a short distance to travel, and you could tell it's a very worn path from their home to the trading post. I thought that was kind of neat as well. And you can see why it's called the Meteor House, because it's still smoking, which is kind of funny in a sense for John to find it and it's still smoking and it's been 7 years. You got their little outhouse and wood pile.
What the hell?
And it's pretty cool that they added the little animation to where he blows the smoke away from his face there. And coughing and stuff from the smoke. So, plenty of little things you can pick up if you want to pilfer everything. Which generally I do, but I try not to do it a whole bunch when I'm showing you guys, because I'm sure that gets boring. I was trying to get him to do the wave his hand again, but it's not gonna, so. There's a little meteorite down in that hole. feel sorry for those people. They were just sitting at the table at the wrong time. There's another cigarette card. Gems of Beauty again, I think. Yeah. And I'm guilty as many times as I've played this game, as many hours as I've put in. I have never collected all the cigarette cards. So, maybe one day. And my OCD, I have to close things. It bugs me if I leave it open. I know it doesn't matter, it's just a game, but it's just me. Not sure what happened here. So see, it's not that far from the trading post. Just down the hill a little bit. And then our next location is the giant meteor, which is just up and above. Which is huge. Could you imagine? And then there's another little meteor right there you can pick up. Glad it didn't land on me, he wrote. There's the meteorite. I don't understand why you can carry around 30 of these things, though, when that's the only 2 I've ever found. So, if you guys know where there's a lot more, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. And our next location we're headed to is Fair Ale Shanty. That's over in the Grizzlies to our left. Just on down the path. Gotta be careful sometimes here. There's a bear at times. Grizzly. So that's why I had my shotgun out. I was ready. But there was some deer and elk and stuff around instead. Slim Grant. Excuse me. And there's a gold nugget in here you can pick up. And some jewelry and the pocket watch, which I think it's a platinum band I show as well, because I always have that turned off. And then our next location is the Witch's Cauldron, which is also just a little bit further to the left. And something that's really cool here is most times you can get a perfect raven to spawn. And the mysterious drink, you can drink it and it makes you pass out for a couple of minutes, and it also refills your cores. So if you're brave enough to try it, it doesn't actually hurt you. I thought it was kind of cool to show it at nighttime. It makes it have that eerie feeling a little bit more. I did loot, I think, pretty much everything here, but it doesn't take very long. I think it would have been cool if they would have added some type of mysterious side quest that connects to this. Would have been neat. Or maybe they did and I just haven't found it yet. I don't know. There's so much to find in this game. I'm still finding stuff. something that I really enjoy about it is every time I play it, I have a new experience. It's same, only different, I guess. There you go, so see my cores and the time. And then when we wake up, just a few minutes later, they'll be full. So I thought that was pretty neat too. And then next up is the loft. I showed them out of order. The loft should have been before Fair Ale Shanty. Sorry, guys. And a lot of fans speculate that this was the cabin, lodge, where the princess was kidnapped from. I wonder if her content was cut, and that's why nobody's ever found her. You can find her poster in Van Horn at the saloon outside, and you can find some of her belongings inside the fence in the same town. And there's a gentleman in Roanoke by the river somewhere that will tell you a story about her as well. That's the most information I've ever found on the princess. It's got a really pretty view up here. There's a dream catcher near here too, in the direction I was just looking, down the hill a little bit. And that camper area over there, those are kind of like unique campsites, because if you don't find a camper there, you can actually use it and camp there. And it may appear again if you don't steal from it. If you steal from it, the owner will magically appear and start causing you trouble. But I think that's neat, that if you don't bother their belongings, you're welcome to use it. Yeah, see, I showed them out of order. Sorry, guys. Alright, next up is the Hill Home, which is near Arthur's gravesite. His grave is just up the hill behind there. And there's usually always an eagle when I go to visit. I wonder who lived in this odd home. The Hobbit House. That's what it reminds me of. And it took me forever to find the right tree. I was trying to find the one that had the paintings on it that match the turtle markings on the top, which is connected to the Chelonians. And then this window here ties to a treasure map, and one of the next map pieces, I believe, is in there. It's been a while since I did the treasure hunting. I did a guide on it last year, I think, or 8 months ago. I don't know. It's been a while. I lose track of time. It goes by too fast for me. But the turtle, it's connected to the Chelonians. And then there's a tree over here, which it's to my left, but it took me a minute to find it. And it has a marking. That's a more in-depth thing than I can get into. I haven't figured out a lot of that personally. Excuse me. I could have cut this part out, but I figured I'd let you see my dorkiness while I'm looking around for stuff, just to show that I don't know everything there is to know or where exactly everything is. And even though I've played over 2,000 hours of this game. Plus, I don't play it every day all the time, so you get a little rusty sometimes. But there's the marking. And then just across the pathway, next up, right across the path, is the strange statues. And this is one of the few treasures in the game you don't need to look at the design or find a map for. So you just need to know which fingers. Which, if you've never done this, they are 2, 3, 5, and 7. 7 is the broken arm on the floor. And once you solve the puzzle, your reward is 3 gold bars, which is cool because that's 1,500 bucks. Not like John needs it though. I have, I think, 24,000, and I never do know what to spend my money on in this game. I tried to spend it all once, and I don't think I was able to do it. Even buying all the weapons and clothing. So basically that's all you got to remember. 2, 3, 5, and 7. So that's what I'm doing. I'm counting the fingers on the sculptures. And then you push the buttons that coordinate with those. Presto! And since I haven't discovered it in this gameplay yet, I'll probably add it into another one of these interesting places where to actually see the painting. It's not far from Chess Porter, actually. It's like down below there. It's at Window Rock, if you want me to be specific. And this is Wynyard Street, the rock carving for Francis Sinclair.
Blow it.
So, my goal in this playthrough, I did absolutely nothing with Arthur but what I had to, so that I could showcase as much as what I could with John. Because I've never done that. I've never actually played that much with John, to be honest. I played Red Dead 2 before ever trying Red Dead 1, and I fell in love with Arthur's character, so I like John, but I like Arthur more. Might have been different if I played Red Dead 1 first. Next up is a roadside camp near Chess Porter. I'm not showing Chess Porter because I'm going to show that in a different video all on its own. This is the type of camp I was talking about earlier when we were at the loft. Excuse me. If you just use it as a regular campsite, nobody comes and bothers you. You can sleep there, cook there, whatever, and be on your way. And then if you come back again, it'll still be there. But if you disrupt it, I'm pretty sure that after the owner confronts you, the camp won't be there again. So if you ever want to use it more than once, don't disturb their belongings. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I'm pretty sure. And then next up, we're going to show where to find the ancient tomahawk, which is very close to Wapiti. And it's
Saddle.
just right off the path. It's really easy to find. Just look for those poles sticking up. And I think this is beautifully crafted. I think it's just very pretty. So I tried to get a nice close-up for you. It's really nice how much care and love that Native Americans put into crafting the things that they make. And I just do a couple test throws because it's target practice. So you figured the Indians from the reservation would come down and use this as, excuse me, as a practice area and maybe do some fishing and hunting and just a area to maybe have a little alone time if they needed some space or whatever, because I'm sure everybody needs alone time. And it's so pretty up here. This is a place, type of setting I would love to see in real life. And I know that all the states are based off of real life states. And some of the places in Red Dead are based off of real life as well, like the Braithwaite's Plantation House. That's a real place. And several others. Like the whole town of Saint Denis, basically, is a recreation of what New Orleans looked like in the early 1900s, I believe. And then next up, we're going to be showing Clawson's Rest. I really wish that it wouldn't have had the cut content, because originally there was supposed to be a story that you could take the children to the local sheriff's office, which I guess the closest would be Strawberry or Valentine. And they've cut that content. And I don't know that because I know how to look at code or whatever. I saw a video and on someone else's channel quite a while back, and discovered that it was cut content. But I mean, you gather enough to see what happened, though. Originally, the door is locked. It's not for me because I came here with Arthur apparently in this playthrough. So inside the drawer here, there's usually a letter, and it was to the boys from their mother. And this book here, if you come here with Arthur, you can actually take that and save that and give it to Jack for one of the storybooks during the fishing mission, and give that to him as his camp item request. So, I mean, it's just really sad that they literally starved to death there because they had no way to get out, I guess. I mean, with the windows all boarded up, and I think she said the door too was boarded shut, so they had no way to get out to get food. They were too little. Which makes you sad too, because you know that something bad had to happen to the mother in order for that to be the case. So it says, Glenn and Eddie, I've gone to track down those men and get our money back. The door's locked and the windows are boarded shut. Promise me you won't answer to nobody who comes calling, even if you think you know them. There's enough food and water for 4 days or more, but I should be home by tomorrow night at the latest. Sorry, my screen that I'm looking at is so tiny, I had to get really close to the monitor to read that for you guys. I usually can read a bit smoother. But that is our 12 places, interesting places with John. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. To my subscribers, you're awesome. Thanks so much for your support. And as always, please be kind, be safe, and stay humble.